My Hero Academia, Class 1B students, ranked by likelihood to succeed. Class 1B is the lesser-shown first-year hero class at UA. Their quirks are on par with 1A, and most of them are projected to be pros in no time. Class 1B in My Hero Academia is constantly overshadowed by the accomplishments of Class 1A, despite containing some of the brightest young fighters in the entire school. Perhaps even the country. That said, 1B manages to maintain pace with their counterparts' rapid growth, developing skills and strategies as a result of the mostly healthy competition between the two groups of students. Interestingly, most members of 1B are either neutral to 1A or actively encouraging, suggesting that they bear no ill will whatsoever, proving that they are powered by the same potential for heroism as anyone else. 10. Hiryu Rin has much to learn, but he's capable of climbing to great heights. Hiryu is a talented character, revealing his proficient control over his scales in the joint training battle. In addition to manipulating his quirk at peak efficiency, he displays a relatively high level of strategic intelligence. Hiryu is the first to notice Kaminari's sharpshooting pointers, effectively striking the disc away from Shishido Jirota's body. There is much for him to learn, but he's certainly capable of reaching great heights. 9. Narenjiki Shota secures an internship with the number 13 pro hero. Narenjiki Shota comes off as a timid boy without much confidence in his own skills, but this doesn't apply to battle scenarios. His twin impact quirk is both precise and versatile, he wields it to attack as well as to evade attacks. Most importantly, Shota is capable of applying his quirk to anyone he chooses, which vastly enhances the strength of their offensive techniques. As a testament to his potential, Shota secures an internship with the number 13 pro hero. 8. Kinoko Komori just needs enough humidity to make her quirk professional. Kinoko Komori's quirk is unique in that it contains no attack power whatsoever, although she can produce thousands of mushrooms on any surface where her spores land, including humans. She defeats Tokoyami by generating mushrooms within his respiratory system, proving that she understands the risks of accidentally killing someone and works around them. All Kinoko needs to turn her mushroom into a professional weapon is ambient humidity. 7. Shirhai Kurwaro's tactics might be incomprehensible, but they usually bear fruit. Shirhai Kurwaro's quirk is called black because it permits him to fuse into any object that's black or even dark. He doesn't partake in near-range fights due to a lack of combat skills, instead opting to his opponents down using guile and stealth. Kurwaro's tactics, no matter how incomprehensible they might seem to his teammates, almost always bear fruit. His greatest achievement to date is merging into Fumicage's Dark Shadow quirk and wresting control of it from within, not a simple task in any respect. 6. Tetsu's willpower is as unbreakable as his quirk. Tetsu is as feisty as his pal Kirishima, who he fights to a draw during the sports festival. His steel is well suited to defensive stances. He uses his hardened skin to protect others from attacks. Tetsu's willpower is as unbreakable as his quirk, as seen when he disobeys orders and faces the League of Villains at the forest training camp. He claims that fighting without risking his life is meaningless in any situation, even practice sessions, a sense of duty that's worthy of a pro hero. 5. Ibara Shiozaki has improved after her internship under 3 pro heroes. Ibara Shiozaki doesn't even move during battle, preferring to remain in position and use her vines to do the work for her. She effortlessly defeats Denki by shielding herself from his electrification and simultaneously taking advantage of his weakness before he realizes what's happening. Ibara's combat skills are flawed. However, as she cannot use her quirk against opponents with exceptional mobility, Thankfully, her internship with Kamui Woods, Empty Lady, and Edge Shot has helped her overcome her weaknesses. 4. Nito Monoma will become a well-respected pro hero in time. Nito Monoma is weirdly passionate about beating Class 1A, going so far as to mock them for perceived failures while praising 1B to the skies even for the most inconsequential achievements. Still, there is little doubt that he will be anything other than a well-respected pro hero, largely due to the untapped potential of his quirk. Copy is unable to mimic strength-based quirks, forcing Monoma to channel his ability through cunning rather than brute force. 3. Setsuna Tokaige is among the most gifted members of her class. Class 1B considers Setsuna Tokaige among the most gifted students in UA, a belief that is constantly justified by her battle strategies. She uses her lizard tail splitter quirk in a wide selection of sub-techniques, including tracking opponents, defensive shields, long-distance attacks, and so on. Setsuna nearly succeeds in taking down Bakugo and his teammates during their match, incorporating every possible factor and predicting several outcomes in the process. She is certainly someone to look out for in the future. 2. Juzo Hananuki is one of the 4 recommended students at UA. Juzo Hananuki is one of the 4 recommended students among UA's 40-strong batch of first years, meaning that he's talented enough to get into the prestigious academy without having to endure the entrance exam. His softening quirk can be cast on any solid object, transforming it into a fluid with differing degrees of liquidity. More impressively, Juzo can move through substances after softening them, giving him access to a vast attack range. 1. Itsuka Kendo is arguably the most qualified student in 1B. Itsuka Kendo is arguably the most qualified student in Class 1B. Her big fist quirk is relatively mediocre, considering that it merely increases the size and strength of her hands. That said, she is both prepared and sharp-witted in the throes of combat, regardless of how overwhelming or dangerous her opponent is. Itsuka takes on Mustard from the League of Villains by spinning his poisonous gas out of range, as well as destroys Momo's tungsten shields while expending minimal effort.